Hello, my name is Rob Sitman. I am the Business Development Manager here at Patron Property Management, located in Cypress on the corner of Valley View and Ball. Today I have a guest with me, Steve Mauss. I wanted to introduce Steve a little bit. He is running for City Council coming up in a couple months here in November. I wanted Steve to talk a little bit about what his vision and what makes Cypress a great place to invest in, what makes Cypress a great place for tenants to rent in.
It's a safe place to live. It has rich amenities. The roads are incredibly well maintained, and the housing is well thought out and planned. The business environment is richly rewarding for everybody involved, not just the business owners, but the patrons as well. And it's just a great place to live.
What else can you tell me about some of the things that make Cypress a good place to rent and invest in?
We have very low crime. We have very clean neighborhoods. We have great street sweeping, and people take care of their properties. That's a big deal, because they have community pride. Mm-hmm. The city has been very big about listening to the citizens. We have a lot of good infrastructure in the city of Cypress. We have good people in the city of Cypress, and we have good government. Yeah. And I look forward to helping to continue that tradition.
I agree.
We need to spend some time thinking about how we're going to get retail back here, the smaller retailers. They've been devastated by COVID. Everything from restaurants to gyms to you name it, they have just been devastated, and there's no real way that the federal government's going to be able to bail them out. Yeah. We as a community have to get together and support them.
Okay, anything else on building projects that you wanted to touch on before we moved on?
Well, there is one thing I wanted to add about the sports park.
Okay.
I would like to go on record as saying I am not in favor of the current design of the sports park.
Okay, tell me more. Why is that?
I believe the park should be more open to the entire community and not so dedicated to only soccer. Yeah. I have nothing against soccer. In fact, I think it's a great family activity. But you are taking most of the 9 acres that was set aside, and you're turning it into essentially a sports park that will bring a lot of people from outside of the Cypress area to play sports on fields that we are maintaining.
Okay, anything else on the town center, the parks, the development, any projects that you want to bring up?
Only that I think in terms of the way that homeowners, landowners, landlords would be interested in it, the concept that Cypress has for pocket parks, time and time again, the surveys show that residents actually prefer that concept of having a little park that they can run over to right in their neighborhood. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a huge acreage, but it's nice to have a little place to let the animals and the kids run around and have a good time.
How do we get Cypress up to speed on the technological advantages that you and I both know exist?
Well, there's I think your first thrust has to be a prioritization. So if you believe that it does help the community, and you also believe that in the end it saves everybody money and time, then it should be a priority for the city government to get busy on it. We have a good IT staff for the city of Cypress. They're really good at what they do, but they should be willing to bring in outside experts and consultants on very specific elements of what they're trying to do. Payment processing needs to be implemented in a very highly secure way. Transparency about what's going on with your project or anything that you've submitted to the city. You should be able to find that and find information, status about it, just as easily as you can find the order details on something you ordered from Amazon. The city of Cypress is this little gem right in the middle of everything that nobody really markets or talks about. I'm not sure we need to market or talk about it, but at the same time, we were surprised. We were looking in Los Alamitos because everybody hears about Los Alamitos schools, right?
Yeah.
When we looked around in Los Alamitos, we thought it's a pretty nice set of, most of the property there is pretty nice, and people keep it up. But then we came over into the little neighborhood that we're in Cypress, and it's just across the street. The homes are of better value. Mm-hmm. The schools are still just as good. if not better in many cases. And the community members themselves, and this is a big deal, the community members themselves are more cohesive, they work well together, and they are all committed to the same goals and the same quality of life.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. If you have tenants move into the area, they will see that right away and they'll want to be part of that community.
Yeah.
And I think they'll treat properties better if they're renters. And
Yeah.
if they purchase here, they'll take care of their property.
Yeah.
Cypress is a wonderful place to live, and we're really glad that we found it. We found the little gem. Like you, we not only were able to raise our family here, but we were sort of surprised, as I said, about what a little gem it is, that it's so well run. Cypress is a very well run city, and I want people to get that message. And if I wanted to try to decide where I wanted to buy property, whether to rent it out or to live in it, I would like to be assured that the city government knows what the heck they're doing and is on my side and on the side of the entire community, and is going to work well with the community to keep Cypress at a very high standard of living. And I think that's what we have, and I want to continue that work going forward.
Steve, we have a couple of city council members that if you were to be elected, you'd be working with. Tell me a little about those city council members, and what is your message to the residents of Cypress, and how you'd be able to work with the current city council members.
I am a fiscally conservative person. I will freely admit that. And to the extent that others are not, we will have issues and conflicts, but not an adversarial relationship. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to disagree and have a dialogue, and then we do what city councils do. We vote.
So if there's anybody listening and they wanted to get in touch with you or learn more about your campaign, how can they learn more about you and your campaign, and how can they get in touch with you?
My campaign website is Steve4Cypress.org. So Steve4Cypress.org. All of my policy statements on the issues facing the city are on my website, and you can expand and collapse every one of them, and then there's a place to contact me if you would like to discuss any of the issues. I am happy to meet with anybody personally. Anybody that wants to meet with me directly one-on-one, I will come to their home or invite them to mine, and I am happy to sit down and discuss issues. If you would like to contact me directly via email, it is Steve4Cypress@gmail.com.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Well, there you have it, Steve Mauss. Look out for him, running for city council here in Cypress in the November 2020 election. Steve, good luck, and we'll be hearing from you shortly.
All right. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Steve.